Yeah, the strange thing Rowan Atkinson always said was how people sometimes half-recognized him. They knew his face, but not quite who he was. The boy who once stuttered so badly that classmates called him an alien eventually became one of the world's most loved comedians. But that transformation came with pain. Rowan discovered early on that his stutter disappeared completely when he performed on stage, but only then. Every Mr. Bean episode pushed him emotionally and left him drained. He even admitted he sometimes felt like a fraud. Now, at 70, he finally talks openly about how childhood trauma shaped everything. Rowan Sebastian Atkinson was born on January 6, 1955, in a quiet town in County Durham. He was the youngest of 4 boys, though one brother had died as a baby before Rowan could remember. One of his surviving brothers later became a well-known political commentator. Rowan grew up on a farm, living a quiet, disciplined life, nothing like the loud, silly characters he would one day play. Around age 5, Rowan started developing a serious stutter. Speaking became difficult, and school became painful. At his school in Durham, students teased him for the way he talked and even the way he looked. Some kids said he looked like an alien. He spent most of his time alone. Even a future prime minister once recalled how tough things were for him. But something strange happened whenever Rowan stepped on stage. His stutter vanished. He could speak perfectly while acting. That painful childhood challenge slowly became the key to his talent. Despite the bullying, Rowan excelled at academics. He earned top grades in science and went to university to study electrical engineering at just 18. Everyone thought he would become an engineer or scientist. He completed his degree, then went to Oxford for a master's. His research was so advanced that he even began work toward a PhD. But a different path kept calling him. At Oxford, Rowan joined a drama group, and everything changed. He met a young writer who saw him perform and instantly recognized his genius. Rowan could transform completely the moment he stepped on stage. A performance at the Edinburgh Festival in 1976 put him in front of a national audience for the first time, and people began to notice his brilliant physical comedy. Still, success didn't come easily. In the late 70s, the BBC rejected him repeatedly. His stutter made auditions stressful. He even considered quitting comedy and returning to engineering. But he kept performing with friends, especially in live shows where he could hide behind characters. Rowan returned to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival at 24 and performed a mostly silent show. Some people walked out, but others instantly saw something unique. He could make people laugh without saying a word, just like the great silent comedians of the past. His first big TV break came with a pilot that didn't get picked up. But in 1979, things finally turned around when he joined a new sketch show. The first episode aired to terrible reviews, but the network took a risk and ordered more episodes. That decision changed British comedy forever. Over the next few years, Rowan played everything from strange intellectuals to a furious gorilla in a famous sketch that won major awards. But behind the scenes, the work was draining. Budget cuts, cast changes, and personal anxiety took a toll. By 1982, everyone, including Rowan, was exhausted. They walked away from the show at the height of their success. Rowan then moved on to a new project, a historical comedy series. The first season was filmed in real castles and was so expensive that the network almost canceled it. But after a major rewrite and a new co-writer, the show transformed into something legendary. It became sharper, funnier, and more character-driven. By its final season, the show managed to be both hilarious and heartbreakingly serious. The last scene, set in World War I, became one of the most emotional endings in TV history. Rowan loved working on that show because he didn't have to carry everything alone. The cast trusted each other and often improvised. He later said this was the least stressful project of his entire career. Then came the character that changed his life forever. Mr. Bean premiered on January 1, 1990, and instantly became a global hit. Because the character barely spoke, people from all over the world understood it. One episode drew nearly 19 million viewers in the UK alone. The show aired in more than 245 countries. But the world didn't know how hard it was on Rowan. Playing Mr. Bean drained him. He said the character was exhausting because every emotion had to be shown through his body and face. He admitted he often looked forward to the filming ending. The character that made millions laugh was incredibly stressful for the man behind it. When the first Mr. Bean movie released in 1997, it earned hundreds of millions worldwide and broke box office records. But the pressure only increased. That's why in 2002, Rowan shifted to the animated version. This time, he only had to do the voice. It was creative, fun, and easier on him physically. The animated show kept Mr. Bean alive without harming Rowan's mental health. And then, in 2012, he returned as Mr. Bean one last time on the biggest stage possible, the Olympics. Nearly 1 billion people around the world watched him perform during the opening ceremony. It became one of the most memorable comedy moments in Olympic history.